Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Robb Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
I was doing my calculations, and we are 1 week prior to the heaviest travel day of the year. I don't think I have ever said that in all my years. I've said the heaviest travel day of the year, but I have never said 1 week until the heaviest travel day of the year. I don't think I've ever said that, Rob.
Are you going to do a countdown? Because people need to be ready.
No. So many questions for me on today's show. Some of them light, some of them heavy, all of them interesting.
You know why, Mike?
Opinion.
Because you're curious.
I am curious. And I start my curiosity today with the magic that is Chick-fil-A. I've realized recently that it is not exclusive to my area that the Chick-fil-A franchise is so overwhelmingly successful. I looked at numbers and realized that they are just vastly successful. Even with the Sunday closing, they do incredibly well. And I said, as I was driving in with my son, who said he was hungry, and the closest place from his school to where we live is Chick-fil-A, and he likes it, and he's got a football practice that night, and he's coming from his extracurricular football, so he's been running around, and he's hungry, and I'm the responsible parent because Mrs. O'Mara is slaying the dragon yesterday. So Mr. Mom is going to take him to the Chick-fil-A. So as I pull into the parking lot, and the cone directs me to go to the outer perimeter where you circle the entire restaurant, and then you come back around and you go into the lane to the right of where people are picking up their food. And then you are waiting for the person who has just received his food to go right so you can go left. And
do you have one of the double drive-ins where you actually split into two lanes to take orders?
No, because those are irrelevant for Chick-fil-A. At least the ones down here, and I will explain.
Okay, because we have a double here in Leesburg. That doesn't help. It doesn't help.
You have a double where you speak into the clown's mouth? You actually go into the...
there are two lanes that speak into the
unheard
clown's
of down
mouth.
here.
It's
unheard
crazy.
Of. Not capable of doing it that way. They don't. The volume is simply too crazy for them to do that. So, I mean, maybe I am in an area where they're just overwhelmingly successful. But the two we have, the one down the road a piece here and the one down the road a piece here, this is how they manage it. They no longer use the electronic speaker system at all. It is there. It is decorative, if you want to say that. It's got a menu on it, but you do not use that.
It's beautiful, Mike.
Have you ever seen it? Then I'll walk you through this.
Okay.
This is the way both of them work down here because they have a line for the entire time that they're open.
Exactly.
They are in a line situation. You obviously, in yours up there, they still use the double speaker system. That would not be used down here because the volume is simply too great. So let me explain what I did.
All right, I'm all
I
ears.
pull into the parking lot. I go out to the outer perimeter. There was a joke about if they ran the government, maybe things would be more efficient. And that's I get it. I get it. But here's the thing. You go out in the outer perimeter, and then you come down a line, and next to you are people picking up their food with a dedicated employee who is standing next to the window as an interface between the people that are making the food in the window and handing it to the customers. And if there is I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So I'm out on the outer perimeter. As soon as the car goes, that happy, got my fried chicken sandwich. I'm a happy individual. My car can go left, pass by that lane, and very shortly I meet an individual, another employee who will be remotely taking my order. You've never seen that type of thing?
I have seen the remote orders, but when that happens, we've got two of them. We've got two people taking remote orders.
Well, they do here too.
Okay, but we have two distinct lines to two people.
Oh, that's crazy. But
Well, what you're
I thought you
describing
said they
sounds
use the
hellish.
clown's mouth. This is
They
where
use-
we start
I've
to
se-
communicate so beautifully. Are they using the two speakers, or are they using two employees?
Mike, I have seen both. I imagine the
Okay.
employees are for crunch time. And
no,
the clown's mouth
employees
is-
are there for the entire time the place is
Okay,
open.
all right.
That's how busy it is.
All
So
right.
I give my order to the person. Anybody that's done this knows what I'm talking about. They say, "What first thing? What's your name?" And I give them my name. Give them my kid's order. I order one for myself. Shouldn't have. A little too much FAT content for me.
Yeah, and are you
but
under the? I get the impression that a lot of parents hit Chick-fil-A because somehow Chick-fil-A has positioned themselves as a healthier alternative, and it's not. Are you
No, I
under
don't think that
sort
has
of
anything
guys?
to do with it. No,
All
I
right,
think
all
down
right.
here it's just chicken.
Okay.
I think that's all they care about. So
All right.
you get in that lane, drive through, and then you get to the lady who's standing outside. They didn't have my son's little vanilla milkshake ready, and so they sent it. But yes, I am plying him with fat and sugar. Thank you very much. The kid
The milkshakes
runs his
are
ass off
outstanding.
all day long.
They're
well, I
outstanding.
didn't need to hear that, but that's good. I'm simply trying to explain the fact that I'm a bad parent for
You're not.
feeding him this. They ask us to pull up. And then shortly thereafter, the order is filled. So I was just, as I was sitting there at, what time was this? This would have been, he had football, after-school football till 4:30. This would have been 4:40 in the afternoon.
All right.
And this place goes from whenever to whenever. And I said, the wild success of this particular chain blows me away. And I said, it can't, the chicken is fine,
Yeah.
but it just can't be because they have a fried chicken sandwich. Lots of people have a fried chicken sandwich, but apparently that, and I did, what is the reason for their success? And then they do a whole big BS thing about how it was started and yada, yada, yada. And what I believe it comes down to is the franchise model that they
Okay.
have. I will give you the stats here. All right. So first of all, they fund their stores using profits only. Now this is all behind the scenes.
Right.
That they will. The philosophy was to mitigate risk by limiting debt. So that's how they fund it. So there's not a lot of debt involved in these franchisees.
Okay.
They enforce, and this might be a key to their success. And I'm taking the whole closed on Sunday out of it, the political element out of this. I'm
Sure.
just talking about why it's successful. You may not know it, but Chick-fil-A's franchise offering is far less expensive than traditional fast food brands. Did you know that?
Here's what I do know.
All right.
Is that Carrie's stepfather, many years ago when Chick-fil-A was just starting to become a thing, he's been dead for 15 years. So this was a long time ago. He's a businessman. He's had a lot of successful businesses that he had, and his name was Joe. And Joe looked into franchising Chick-fil-A.
Oh, the Crab Shack.
Exactly. That's where he got his
All right.
success.
Pizza.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And
Bars.
Never bars. Different
Joe's.
guy. Joe's bar, but it wasn't him, different Joe. He went and he explored the idea of franchising a Chick-fil-A down in the Newport News area, and there were so many requirements other than the financial investment that he bailed. They were so detailed
let me
at
get
what
to
needed
that
to be
then.
done.
All right.
Okay.
So a McDonald's franchise, this I think is a 2022 article I'm reading.
Okay,
here.
so recent.
Chick-fil-A's franchise offering far less expensive. McDonald's franchise can cost you anywhere from $1.3 million to $2.3 million per restaurant and change.
Okay.
But Chick-fil-A will cost just a $10,000 franchise fee. This is because they pay for everything, including real estate, equipment, marketing, food supplies, all of it annually to the operators, of which the company only accepts around 80. All right.
Okay.
That's 60,000. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. Let's see. This because they pay for everything: real estate, equipment, marketing, food supplies. There are pros and cons to this model for franchisees, but for Chick-fil-A, as a franchisor, the low price barrier allows them to cast an incredibly wide net for potential new operators. So because it's 10 grand and they do everything, they just people come out of the woodwork that
Of
want
course.
to.
Yeah.
And I guess that allows them to get a deeper talent pool and analyze it. That's resulted in 60,000 plus applicants looking to become Chick-fil-A operators annually, of which the company accepts 80. That's scary.
Wow.
Yes.
So we're getting to where, that it's not just the chicken sandwich. That's an acceptance rate of just 0.13%. That means you have a better chance of getting into Harvard, Stanford, or even the United States Secret Service than you do becoming a chicken. But at the same time, if that's where their focus is, and they
weed out the wackadoos.
That's hand
Yeah.
picked. Hello, Oscar. How are you?
Good morning. I have a friend who is in his third year, and he's finally cleared his third year of pursuing this. And he is has a hyper net worth, and they just don't give it to anybody. And he finally got it 3 years in.
And
wow.
We were taught this was born before you got here. I was talking about taking my kid there and just how wildly successful it is and how they now they don't even use their automatic talk to the clown's mouth system. They use the people, and it's just this well thought out.
They're groomed. They're thoughtful. They're like In-N-Out, like a step above In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast, where everybody looks like a clone.
And they rarely allow operators to run more than one store.
True.
And they require each store to be actively run, often meaning that operators spend 6 days a week inside their locations.
Just like Jimmy.
My friend worked for free for 3 years under an operator. 2 years
to learn the ropes?
To learn the ropes, and then
so he could apply?
Just so he could apply.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Now we get to the, by the way, Oscar, this is a 2022 article about it. And I was just wondering the wild success that I see at both our locations down here.
Yeah.
From the moment they open until the moment they close, it is balls to the wall every single day. They never don't have a line. They never don't have multiple employees out in the parking lot. Because of the low acceptance rate and strict operating requirements, you hear a lot of talk about Chick-fil-A. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of curious, and I wanted to get some answers on it. And this is fascinating to me. They are able to filter through all their franchise operator candidates and only end up with the ones they want. The passionate franchisees. These passionate franchisees, Oscar was just describing one, are already armed with a great product, trigger a beautiful domino effect at each restaurant that keeps customers coming back every time. Once again, subjective. I'm not sure I buy into that, but
when I heard the second year that this guy got turned down, the first year I was kind of flabbergasted, but I'm like, all right, they're trying to prove something.
Mm-hmm. Probably didn't know the numbers at that time.
I saw him again. No, he told me when he started getting into this. He's an established
that it was rarefied air to get into.
He said it's harder to get into than Harvard. And I, in full transparency, was like, I'm sure, and I never took a deeper dive like you're taking right now, Mike.
Right.
But it was very clear to me because I would see this guy acquaintance, let's say 4 times, 5 times a year.
Okay.
I'm like, how's it going? Because he at one point. Let me just clarify this. He at one point was thinking of coming on. This is like 2 years ago, when he got to know the second year. He's like, man, like I just got to get back into private equity because this is crazy. Like my wife says, we can't do this for another year.
Because you really, ultimately, you're giving people chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, and I may be a rube. Before he said no, or they said no to him, did he have to put in his $10,000 fee just to be considered? Or are you considered, then you pay the fee? Oh, so he's already
Absolutely.
10 grand in. Okay.
Yeah, but 10 grand is nothing.
I know.
Nothing.
I have
we
something
were
to
just
tell you,
mentioning
Oscar.
the McDonald's and all
but
that.
10 grand is something. You know.
I had a guy, one of my
He
classmates
was
in
meaning
business school.
relative to franchisees.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. One of my I knew because one of the doctors that happened to be in business school with me, his brother owned like 6 McDonald's franchises and 7 Subways, and I was just, you're a kid, so you're like, my kid. I'm like, when you're a kid, you're like, McDonald's is the place to go, not Chick-fil-A like these days.
You would think that would be the one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's not. So you move forward to the 3 years. He just got it this past year.
Good for him.
He just got the tap that said, okay, This is going to be your store, but you have to work out as an understudy to another manager, like an apprenticeship, for years.
It's amazing. Let's get the results. As of 2022, Chick-fil-A is 55 years old. As an American company, they remain popular to this day. While the approach they've taken comes at the cost of fewer locations being opened, the growth of the fast food chain has begun to accelerate in recent years, opening 100-plus restaurants annually, highest average revenue per location in the world. There it is.
Wow.
It has the top satisfaction rating among fast food restaurants. It has the third highest total revenue of any fast food restaurant, despite having thousands of fewer locations. This is stunning to me.
Sounds like a model that works, though. I mean, obviously.
So
McDonald's
hungry
is
now.
bigger by the number, by largest fast food restaurant chains by sales. McDonald's number one, Starbucks then followed by Chick-fil-A. But the difference is Chick-fil-A has
A fraction
of the locations.
Why don't
that
we
they
ever?
have.
This is great, right? You gotta give it up a little bit. We don't agree with their politics.
No,
clearly,
and I
but-
said
but-
right before
yeah,
you got
I
here,
know you
said-
clarified. I know
said,
you clarified.
Take that out of the
Yeah.
equation because it's not. I'm
Here's looking at this from a capitalist standpoint.
Well,
What
I'm
is
also
business to
politically
business?
probably I've heard the noise surrounding Chick-fil-A, but it doesn't matter because I think maybe subconsciously I'm rolling in there. A, it's convenient to where my kid's school is.
Right.
B, I know exactly what's going to happen every time, and I think that at a certain point, I'll give you a great example. If you go back to the Mickey D's right next to our old radio station.
I have.
Do you remember what a suck experience that would be? Like 50% of the time it would be. It would be messed up all the time. It just doesn't happen at these these locations.
They overstaff. If I remember talking to my friend about the logistics of a Chick-fil-A, I said, what's the hardest? At that point, I was like, what was the hardest part? He said, you're dealing with, high expectations of what is a 16 to 25 workforce. And he goes, do you remember what happened when you're 16, 25? He goes, no. He goes, you deal with breakups. You deal with people's anxiety about going to college. You deal with people working and going to school at the same time. So all you're dealing is with people, but young adults.
So this is the management side you're asking about, which is how that's really getting into the intricacies of it, but it has to be there because
but 300 plus people per 6-day-a-week operation, pretty impressive.
It is.
Wow.
They have a deliberate expansion strategy. They move slowly, prioritizes both the customer experience and the profitability of each restaurant over the success of the system as a whole. I think I know what that means. When you look at other restaurant franchises, their primary focus is on expansion. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Take politics out of it once again, but I'm sorry. You got to kind of go, bravo.
Yeah.
World beaters.
Because I've seen so much of it down here when that they are more other franchises into expansion. When more locations are open, system revenue increases, which results in the franchisor collecting more royalties. So it's for the franchisor. That's
And
what it is.
also
not necessarily the franchisee or the customer, right?
with the limited expansion outlook, it also makes it, just even if it's an implication, that when one opens, it's special, and people want to try it. And
I
you know
agree.
what? You can see there's 5 McDonald's in the Leesburg area. That means nothing.
Which
if
is
another one
which is too many in my eyes, because it's just there's too much there, right? There's just
Right,
saturation. Though I would like a Burger King closer to home here in DC, because have you seen the
Talk about
commercials?
quality control.
Halvesies,
God
onion rings
almighty.
and fries.
Yeah, in the past, Oscar, if you wanted to get an onion ring in your fries, all you had to do was order French fries.
That's so true.
The aforementioned quality control.
What is this?
Let me read
An
the
onion
last
ring?
paragraph of this article. It says Chick-fil-A is happy to go with a slow and steady approach. They are focused only on opening locations when it's matched with a passionate operator that can maximize its value. Other franchises are unlikely ever to take this approach, given how time-intensive it is, and also the fact that controlled growth doesn't produce as many headlines. But Chick-fil-A is playing the long game, and I believe, this is the article author saying, I believe it will win in the long run. We hope this article was helpful explaining why
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A is so popular and successful with aspiring franchise owners and customers alike. Look, a chicken sandwich is a chicken sandwich. Is it good? Yes, it's good.
Yeah.
But you combine that, and I think, why have I rolled in there more than any? And I'm getting some for my kid. I'm rolling in there because it's good, and you just know what you're going to get. That's why I go.
You're willing to wait in your car longer because you're not going to get any surprises.
You
I
trust
will
the
throw this-
consistency, yeah.
And I'm not trying. Look, this is not a commercial. I'm not trying to get an
No,
ad revenue here. I'm just
no.
curious, Oscar.
I'm
the
hungry.
line that was at this Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
If I was at a Mickey D's, I would say, "Oh, another day."
F it. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not possible. The line was so long, and we were in and out of there in less than 10 minutes. It was pretty amazing.
And in Olney, it's typically the O-Town, right outside of D.C., for those of you
Right.
around the country.
Right on.
Is
Right on.
That's where all the boy bands come from, isn't it, Oscar? O-Town?
Yes. There's a big airplane hangar with a bunch of dance instructors. Remember Lou Pearlman?
I do.
Yeah, he used to be
I
the
never
mayor of-
forgave him.
He used to be the mayor of O-Town, and then he died.
That's nasty.
Okay, so 15 minutes on a regular basis, drive-through.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes.
That's it. And that's part of the equation as well. And I just got tired of wondering, and I wanted to bring this to everybody and say it's got to be what they say. These little intangibles.
Yeah.
Doesn't
about
matter
it.
how wealthy you are, how well connected you are, as I would say my friend is. He had people call from big, large companies that gave them the nod that knew people in the C-suite. Nothing.
You know what I didn't get to, and I'd love to get to this?
What's that?
So your friend gets his
Yes.
little franchise.
He just
gets
got it,
tired
yes.
of the 6 days a week thing being in a fast food restaurant, which would drive anyone insane. What does he do if he wants out? How does that work? You know what I mean? Does he? Because really,
I
with a
don't-
franchisee, they change hands all the time. At least
Not
I
at
thought.
Chick-fil-A.
Not at Chick-fil-A.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Chick-fil-A model is not, like as you probably went through already, and I'm sorry for not getting every detail. The way I remember him saying this, he goes, they have such a different model than any other quote unquote franchise. You're actually not a franchisee. They own the store still.
Yeah,
because it's 10,000 and they own everything.
They own everything.
because they provided everything. Yeah.
You get the profit.
You get to
long as
participate
you're
in the
open.
profit sharing as
Yeah.
long as you make it happen.
Mike,
You are
the
not
official-
getting the value of the location to sell. It's
You
not
don't own
done
the
like
property.
that.
You don't. No, it's completely different.
The official motto of Chick-fil-A, Mike, is you can check out anytime you like, but you can never
Yeah.
leave.
The thing.
Just like Joe Walsh said.
That's right. Good.
Right? Yes. Yes. Who's assimilated?
As soon as you say
You are, baby. You are.
I'm an American. And
Rocky Mountain Way couldn't get much higher.
Has life been
that's
good to you
quality
so
control. Quality control is job 8 at the Mike O'Mara show. Let me. The thing about
it is fast. I'm happy. This is great. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like right now, Jim Amato's like, "Oh, give me the Sound Town." But no, we're learning.
No, I think it was because of my own personal experience, and I led with it today because, I didn't lead with that. I wanted to talk about whether I should take my son over the holiday to Napoleon, the movie, which is getting pretty spectacular reviews.
I've seen, yeah.
I think I might just do it. I think it's
Take
time.
him to
He's
Killer
10 years old.
first,
What's
and then
that?
take him to
Yeah,
Napoleon.
just make him watch Killer first.
Yes.
And then
You mean
then-
the Killer with Michael Fassbender?
yeah.
I think he could watch that.
Absolutely. Just
Yeah,
cover
you
his
can watch that
eyes when the exotic dancers.
That's
doing
the thing. It's the lovey stuff. That
the Texas
he
two-step.
wants me to cover his eyes at this age when that happens. He wants
does?
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about
Aw,
it
that's
happens
so
quick, Oscar.
sweet.
You make that flip, 12, 13, you make
Yeah,
that
that's
flip where
so
it's just
sweet,
like,
yeah.
I remember sneaking into Serpico, seeing boobies in
Mm-hmm.
the bathtub with Serpico. I was like, it was all I could do not to tell
That's the
people.
only scene that's not gore, like that's sexualized in that whole movie. The
think
rest is
so.
like calculated violence.
Calculated violence. It's America. Who cares about that? Go ahead. Blow his head off. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Mike, I think that you're about 3 weeks away from him wanting you to cover his eyes, but keeping your fingers apart. That's
Well-
what he's going to.
My little guy.
Hey, Pop,
God.
pretend you're covering my eyes when the boobies come on.
Dad,
That's right.
Can you make me pancakes tomorrow morning? He said, yeah, I'll make you pancakes.
Can you make me pancakes shake like a woman?
Yes.
Stop it. Jesus. Chocolate chip
Just like the
pancakes this
Playboy bunny.
Put the chocolate chip there and there.
No, if I remember, I'm using
gross.
my memory banks to
Yuck.
remember my buddy Dougie and his father that had Playboy magazines in his house, and that was 13. I know that was the one where I went up to my father's college roommate, and their son was away, I think, in Vietnam. I'm so old.
Serving our country.
And he had as tall as me.
Yeah, it's like,
the
I
stack.
wonder what these are.
Great memories of my life.
Oh, and
One
there
of the
was like
li-
an adult party going on downstairs, right?
Yeah.
and an adult party going on upstairs.
I
too.
was going to say. Ain't it?
It was fantastic. So
That's
the
when
whole
you
thing
became a
with-
journalist.
I'm looking up. That's what I was going to do. I was going to look up just one. No, not that. Stop it. I was
Can
going
I
to
share?
look
Can I
up.
pad and share one more anecdote about Chick-fil-A that was
Yeah, because
also
I'm
fascinating?
asking one more question
Okay,
on
great.
Chick-fil-A that I
Yeah.
want to ask.
And their nuggets are
So-
unbeatable, Oscar. I'll tell you that.
So I says to my friend,
Yes.
after the second, I was like, man, 2 years. Like, is there a third year that anybody actually stays for? Do you go back? And he says, I don't know. Like, my guy says it's either 2 years and like you just don't reapply. And I said, well, how bad do you want this? I mean, you have other options, and you seem really upset about this, as I would be. And he said, no, like, I want to prove him wrong. It's like that. You have to be obsessed.
They've made it special. Even ownership is special. It's
Even for someone that has everything, that doesn't
Right.
need dollars, he just
Right.
wants to be able to operate because he loves the business so much.
Just wanted to get it spelled out, Oscar.
Please.
What you had said was correct. You don't actually own or receive any equity when you own a restaurant. Chick-fil-A owns it, and you're considered an operator. This means you can't sell your Chick-fil-A location or pass it on to anyone. So I guess you just beat feet.
Yeah,
you just
beat
take
feet.
off. That's
I
it.
think it's an
You don't
amazing
perform,
tribute.
they beat feet for you. I think
Yeah.
they come in with the broom, like at the Apollo, and they yank you right out.
It is an amazing tribute to a great business plan designed by the owner of Chick-fil-A, Chick Hernandez.
Chick
and I think
Hernandez.
he's done a great
Yes.
job.
That is a local
And he's not
news
covering
anchor.
the PGA.
That's right. He's not doing
very,
that.
He's
very
running.
exciting.
He's a chicken magnet.
It's fascinating the way they do everything. You know,
Franchise.
I really do.
The
I think
secret to the business is
not
having,
all that nice for the franchisees if you can't,
No.
The whole idea of owning something, if they don't give you multiple locations and they don't give you the opportunity to sell the franchise you have, it's kind of keeping the man down. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been glowing.
This is-
We've been glowing
Yeah,
about Chick-fil-A, but let's be real.
This
here.
is what's great, Mike. This is if you have that attitude for the row,
Yeah.
then you're not Chick-fil-A material.
Yeah. The point, I guess the thing would be, what is the max you can? How do you max it out? It's finite. That's the thing. It's not the American way per se when you're talking about a franchisee, or
Yeah,
I
but
should say he's not a franchisee. He's an operator.
It's the risk. The
Yeah.
risk that goes into opening up McDonald's, last I checked, this was pre-pandemic, was roughly, with the location, $2 million low end. Probably more like $5 million.
Yeah, your
And you're
article
putting all that
confirmed
in.
that, Mike.
Yeah, we're putting all that in. This is just top of mind from what I remember talking to my guy, the guy who owned the McDonald's and the Subways. And then the other side of the Chick-fil-A is, yeah, you're putting in sweat equity, Mike, but you're only putting in $10K.
Guess what I found?
What?
Yes.
I found pros and cons, Oscar.
Yeah, can I give you a number before you get to the pros and cons?
Absolutely.
I heard you can make up to close to. I see. He was one operator that made $1.3 million. The other operator that he knew at the store he was working under was making $700K a year
As an operator.
as an operator, but you're not carrying any of the
No risk.
operating
Yeah,
expenses.
there's no debt. So it's
Yeah.
All right, here are the pros. Chick-fil-A is a well-established brand with a loyal customer base. We know that. They have a proven business model, successful in both good and bad economic times. True. Their restaurants are generally located in high-traffic areas. True. Chick-fil-A offers comprehensive training and support for franchisees. True. They offer a unique product that is not easily replicated by their competitors. True.
Very
Even though it's
true.
a chicken sandwich, it's a very unique chicken sandwich.
It's the
Here are the
pickle.
cons. You don't actually own or receive any equity when you own a restaurant. Chick-fil-A owns it, and you're considered an operator. This means you can't sell your Chick-fil-A location or pass it on to anyone. Chick-fil-A insists that the franchise owners of their fast food restaurants work at their location full time, running the day-to-day operation. This is not a passive investment, unlike many other franchises, and a franchise owner cannot open multiple locations, which can limit your profits.
He can, however, have, or she, let's be clear here.
Yeah, Oscar, come on.
He or she can, or they can have a restaurant. This is the way I understand, my understanding from a year ago, last time I had a conversation like this, and they can have a little pop-up shop in, let's say, Montgomery Mall. So they could have a little guy in Montgomery Mall.
Oh, so they could do that. Okay.
But maximum, you could have maybe one restaurant and one or two satellite, like half locations inside a shopping mall
it's funny,
an airport.
It's funny you bring that up. They had a pop-up Chick-fil-A for a few years at Kings Dominion, the amusement park here.
Yes.
Which I always found stupid because the biggest day for attendance at an amusement park is Sunday. And they
Lord's
weren't
Day.
open on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, they give up $1 billion for closing. That's the
wow.
way they do it. Chain closed on Sundays as well as Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not only has locations in 47 states across the U.S. and Washington, also Puerto Rico, Canada, South Africa, and the U.K. In addition to the initial franchise fee of $10,000, Chick-fil-A operators pay a 15% royalty fee plus an additional 50% of pre-tax profit.
A consideration.
Yeah, so if a shop brings in $3 million,
they're paying
bringing in 1.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're bringing in profit.
Yeah, you're still making money. What's more is that they
Profit?
require their franchisees not to have any other active business ventures. So,
Yeah, that's it. That's all you have.
Wow.
Like, you
They ought to
can't
go-
run them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chick-fil-A has changed its name to Mao Zedong's Restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen.
But Mike, do you think? And let's take radio out of. Actually, I think it's important to keep everything we know in context. When I was younger, I used to look at the Junkies and really you and Don and say that is. So you and Don is like the apex of like that. If like that's the type of dollars there used to be in terrestrial radio, major market, syndicated, like monster shows, and you would dream of that as a younger broadcaster. One thing I never ever in my life, because I had these two, especially you and Don and the Junkies, that were always like mainstays. Like you've been in the market for 15 years, 20 years. And for Chad and I was like, well, man, maybe DC's the right place. We're just not flipping. Like when they love you, and not like in LA and like every 3 years you get a new show, right? Or in New York. So I strategically always felt like, wow, this is incredible. And then as now at age 45, I look back and I'm like, yeah, you could make a ton of money in broadcasting, but for how long and for how many consistent amount of years, if you're not Don and Mike or you're not the Junkies, the sports junkies, the probability of consistent income at a high level in broadcasting is very low.
Yeah, and that's what you would say. That's what I don't put it quite like that, but I say that to, especially today. Who knows?
Yes.
Where will radio?
Yeah, but even if you look back,
where will radio be in a month?
Yeah, but even if you
Right.
look at it, let's just take it. Let's
In
roll
its
it back.
heyday, you mean?
In your heyday, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing.
It was still low.
But it's finite because also there's an age out process that's not doing the fact that people aren't performing at a high level. Sorry, I'm not being egotistical. I'm just telling you that's the level I
thought
still
it was.
play at.
Yeah, it's just an advertiser and perceived value.
It's the value of you're not going to work that many years in broadcasting, and you're not going to come in every year and say I'd like to be paid less. It doesn't work like that, but it works like that on the other end. And at a certain point, unless you are Howard Stern, Rush Limbaugh, it's just the financial reality. It just exists. And would I have gotten into the business if I'd known that? Of course I would, because I would have said, well,
because we're broken.
But also
True.
In all entertainment venues, except for perhaps the top echelon of film stars,
Yes.
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but you know where it doesn't go that way once you get in? Doctors.
doctors and
solid
professionals
paycheck
and
Chick-fil-A franchise
and family-owned car
operators.
dealerships.
Yeah, it's
Mike,
family-owned. Not
you
so
want-
much the car dealerships anymore.
Yeah, probably not the car dealerships.
Would you have gotten
anymore.
into the
That's
business,
true.
Mike, if when you went to CBS and said, or Infinity at the time, I'd like a job, and they'd say, okay, give me $10,000 and we'll consider you.
That's true. Yeah. No, it's amazing to see how they do this. Look,
Yeah.
I think somebody who is a younger person that's starting out and they want stability in their life and they want a good living, they want to control their own destiny. The passion of franchisees. Okay, you want to know? I have one of my great business regrets was that I did not partner up with a restaurant person or a family member, someone that was vested in it and was going to be there every day. The fact that they require people, that's why it's good. If you want to know the real reason, that's the reason.
It
Because
is.
the guy that owns it, the guy that runs it, is there. So there's no
Owner,
BS
operator.
going on. There can't be, or he doesn't make his profit. And I'm sure there are. I'm sure Chick-fil-A can swoop in at any time and say you
They get the
violated your
receipts.
contract, right?
They get the receipts.
They do.
100%.
That's the way it is. So that's it. That's our little deep dive into fast food. We will not be doing the same thing with McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and Arby's.
And Jersey Mike's, where they cut your finger.
That's nasty. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we've got something else. Oh, yeah, the round table
Yeah,
coming
we'll get
up.
around.
You are listening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike O'Mara Show. It's 7 days till the heaviest traffic day of the year. Had to mention that again. Do you want to lose 21% of your weight? I've lost over 65 pounds, and I am excited to share with you that DermGlowSkin.com is now your one-stop shop for finally getting control of your weight problem. All you have to do is click the weight loss button at DermGlowSkin.com. You take a quiz, and you see if you qualify. A doctor will write you a prescription. The pharmacy will fill that prescription, and your weight loss medication will be shipped beautifully, by the way. If you saw online, I have an unboxing video of when they sent it to my
So
meds.
sweet.
It's really well done. It'll be shipped directly to your house. These are the real weight loss products, semaglutide and tirzepatide, that you've heard so much about. Every day there's a different story about somebody that's had dramatic weight loss with that. And if you qualify, you can get them right now at DermGlowSkin.com. If you're already on it, do what I did. You can show the doctor your prescription and easily make the switch. I already did, and I'm still losing weight. To date, over 65 pounds. Go ahead. Get excited. You know what? I'll show you right here. This is a shirt that I had for a long time. And for the last 5 years, I have not fit into it. All right?
Well, it looks like
This
you're
is a
swimming in it.
show
Yeah, it
that-
looks like you're swimming in it.
All right, here we
Yeah.
go. This is mine. This is if I can.
Can
go
you
right-
unbutton the button so we can see?
No, I will
Beyond
not.
that?
Thank you. But it's just huge. It's huge.
It
on me.
is.
I don't have
I just
any.
figured.
I don't
Omar,
wear
the
dress
tent
shirts.
maker.
I
Yeah.
don't wear dress shirts a lot, but I've got to, I got to get to it. And Mrs. O'Mara, I know we don't use dry cleaning as much as we did when we were in D.C. I think once every 8 months, if you could just tell me where it is, I'll take
she's
it in
running
today.
a business.
Yeah.
Just
It's wonderful.
you go.
Yeah, she's running a business. DermGlowSkin.com. If you struggle with weight for too long, this is the way. If this had been around when I started my journey and I didn't have to hunt and peck and find and ask and see,
You'd have
and
been
what-
so much happier.
Yeah.
I would have been happier with this. Click the weight loss button and begin the best journey of your life. Be like our proud partner, Frank Gifford. Frank was an All-American as a single winger tailback. He was also selected 4 times as an All-Pro T-formation halfback. Not to mention his storied career as an actor and sports commentator.
Yes.
The Giffer died in 2015 to escape his hellish marriage. What are you doing? He was 84 years old, but looked 48 thanks to DermGlow. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hit the thing for Christ's sake.
Hey,
Cracking,
I meant to tell you, the Kraken gave me $10,000.
Cracking. All right, we start with Courtney Cox and Matt LeBlanc. They posted tributes to Matthew Perry yesterday. Courtney posted a behind-the-scenes video from when they filmed the scene where Monica and Chandler sleep together for the first time. I watched it 5 times. It
So
was
cool.
just so neat
Yeah.
to see that they were, he was just a funny guy. He's a lovable guy. Everybody said, we got the drug, the addiction, whatever. You got to take that out of the equation and realize that he was a pleasant guy, even with the being
Yeah.
addled as he was. She posted a behind-the-scenes look. Matthew had given her a funny line to say just to make the audience laugh. The line was they do a shot. David Schwimmer comes in to say he's getting married, blah, blah, blah. And then she pops her head up, and the audience goes, ah!
Yeah.
And I said, do you think he knew I was here? And they pause. And then she says, your turn. And that was Matthew Perry's line. They didn't use it in the final cut of Friends. Courtney said he often did things like that. He was funny and he was kind. She added, I'm so grateful for every moment I had with you, Maddie, and I miss you every day. I just thought I'd share with that because I was still curious about it.
There's great reputation of the amount of fun they had when they were filming Friends. And Oscar has mentioned before, we had an employee at Podville for a while that was there when the show began.
Yeah, that worked for the production company for years.
She was one of the people who clapped on the theme. But they said that the shooting, exactly. The shooting would go sometimes till midnight for shooting a half-hour show because they were so into it and goofy and having a great time with it. They really loved what they did.
The
and
clip
I think
that I
that's part
saw,
of it,
too, they're such babies.
Oh,
They're
my
such
God, I
babies
know.
when they started that show that just exploded. It's a bummer. Time
This is
marches
before
on, people.
UBA Plus.
That's true.
Hey, you know what? Oh,
Did you finish it?
see? He wasn't here when I was talking
That's
about
right.
that.
Yeah.
I will set aside
it.
a little something because
Love
now
it.
A little
I finally
Alex Levy
did.
time.
A little Alex Levy time. A new study from the European Heart Journal found that sitting down for long periods of time, this is what I'm guilty of. I sit down at work. When I'm not golfing, my ass is in a chair way too often. I get up to take the dog out. But, let me finish this story. The report published in the November 10th journal, whatever medical journal, found that physical inactivity and having an inadequate amount of sleep were risk factors of cardiometabolic diseases. And therefore, getting more sleep and even taking a break to stand up had a more positive impact on heart health. I agree. I am so guilty of this. Even with all of my numbers being better than what they are, and now, more than watching television, I'm on my goddamn screen constantly, and it's not good. And we're all doing that. And if you're watching it, the rule I use for football games that I don't adhere to nearly enough is every commercial break stand up in an NFL game. And you'll get the proper amount of
You should also
exercise.
add stand up every time the Giants score.
and then I'll be fat, Dom. So fat, you'll never not be fat. It'll be constant fat the way I'm doing it. No, I agree with it. I really think that there are times when I will have been walking a golf course and then I come home. And by the time I'm ready, when it's like Betty Bye time and I'm putting my son down, we're going. It's like creak, 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 creak. Ain't good for you. Ain't good. That position is not good for you. And by the way, I would always be, especially when I was heavier, I would go to parties up in Maine with my sister's friends, who are all standers.
Yeah,
they're all standers, and you know what? They're all fit.
Yeah,
they're all fit. They're all fit because it's stand. It's like, and I would go into this party and go, is there a chair around here anywhere? Is there a chair? And, you know, I mean,
you literally have two new hips.
I have two new hips, and
you still don't stand up.
No,
well, he doesn't want to get them scratched.
Standing up is the key. I think the less sitting you, I can't say. What did you say? What?
You don't want to scratch your new hips.
These
are garage kept, Oscar.
They're ceramic, you know. They were made in a pottery barn.
They were carbon fiber. I'm sorry.
You know what's even worse than standers at a party, Mike? Standers at a concert. Sit down and listen to the band.
That's blocking your way.
Yeah, that's the
worst. You know
worst.
what the worst was when I went to baseball games on a regular basis? Standers in the first two rows of a baseball game.
Boo!
Sit the F down. But I remember when I was heavier, it's so different. Sitting is it's just there's nothing going on in your body. If you stand, even if you're standing still and shifting your body weight, you're doing something.
Yeah.
As opposed to that. So I couldn't
and
say that.
when you're sitting, I think you can still do Kegels, right?
I'm doing them right now, Oscar.
I actually demonstrated right there in front of everybody. They didn't see it, though. In a significant,
Carla's a lucky duck.
In a significant development highlighted by recent research, This is related to that last story.
Oh, good.
The life expectancy gap between men and women in the United States has been widening. I need my thing.
Thanks to Mike's Kegels, he's not widening.
It's reached its largest margin since 1996. The research paper indicates that in 2021, the life expectancy difference between American men and women expanded to 5.8 years, up from 4.8 years in 2010. What happened to gain a whole year for the ladies? What is the deal with that?
Well, maybe I think it's probably a byproduct of access, right, to everything. God willing, there's been a recalibration. We've still got ways to go. Healthcare, especially an overall average, and then the workforce. Like, they aren't the majority of graduates
point,
now.
Oscar. Very interesting point, but wrong.
Oh, I blame alcoholism, but I blame it on everything.
Sorry, Rob, that is incorrect as well. The COVID-19 pandemic emerges as the primary factor contributing to this growing disparity from 2019 to 2021. And you could come down here to Southwest Florida, where the mantra would be, with the hundreds of thousands of deaths in my wonderful Sunshine State, where it's just a cold.
Yeah.
Nah,
like a flu.
It's just a cold. Yeah, it doesn't that bother me. It's about, it's totally irrelevant. Why? Because mine wasn't severe. So that means all of them are. Me.
After they say that, do they say, "Welcome to Chick-fil-A, may I take your order, please?"
Yes. Would you like to be a franchisee, Mr. Scholarship winner? Men were disproportionately affected by the virus. That's what it says here, leading to a more significant decrease in their life expectancy. The study also notes a rise in unintentional injuries and poisonings, mostly drug overdoses.
When can a white guy get a break?
As well, it doesn't say white and black, Rob. This is men and women.
Yeah, it's not about color. You're always making about you and
always
being white.
make it
I am
about
thinking
race.
about me.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Grand Dragon. This is just
Yeah.
men and women. All right.
All
Do you
right.
understand what
When
I'm
people
saying
ask
here?
you about your friends, you're like, I do have one brown friend. His
do.
name is Oscar.
Yeah, he doesn't like me very much, but I see him every day.
I like you as a person, as a coworker.
Once again, the opioid epidemic raises its ugly head with the overdoses, suicides, stuff like that. Very depressing. So anyway, the ladies
People ask
are
me,
living
how many
longer.
white friends do you have? And I say 3. Mac, Rob, and Mike.
What
You
about
used to
Rob
have
Ford?
4. You used to have 4, but he went to Key West or something like that, right?
Well, no, yes, that is true. It is. You know what's funny? Everybody's left me.
He hasn't left you. You left him, pal. Okay, let's make it real clear. You left him, and that you know what? And I say yay. I say
Yay.
bully to that. All right, you know
Put
who's
a
leaving?
positive spin on that
Thank
story.
You know who's being left?
Yes.
Kanye. Kanye West rented headquarters. It's in West Hollywood. It has become an eyesore for neighbors. Dude is a just walking, talking train wreck. Always. The musical genius, Kanye West.
Yay.
He was, his Hollywood headquarters was targeted by vandals who spray painted graffiti on the building. The 46-year-old rapper has been traveling for months and has popped up everywhere from Italy to Saudi Arabia, as he's ditched his fashion comeback for music. Much more music.
Love music.
He is still renting the space, and some Yeezy employees do use it, but it has mostly been empty for weeks, and the inside is still full of unfinished wooden structures and debris. I don't know what kind of wooden structures. Oh, they're dildos.
More like
As
Bill
that-
Don'ts.
We take a deeper dive into the quick business aspect of this.
Sure.
Shout out to Matty Masiello. The New York Times, The Daily, has a full special episode dedicated to the rise and fall of the Yeezy Adidas collaboration. And they actually shed further light into true red flags of the blatant anti-Semitism that Kanye West,
Wow.
now Yeezy, essentially, there were moments where people could have been like, "Whoa, what is this guy doing?" They chalked it up, a lot of this stuff, to shock value and how
His
he
meds,
wanted
I
to.
remember,
He
yeah.
wanted to, essentially He was such a creative, a virtuoso that he wanted to like really get people to think. But he clearly had some anti-Semitism.
At his
like,
core
like
was
at his
some
core,
anti-Semitism.
Yeah. And it was very clear looking back at it. But they were making billions of dollars.
Right.
Adidas was that it was so toxic at a certain point they created a separate team just to handle him.
It'd be a cheap joke if I was to go for the Adidas being a German company thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, don't do that.
No, it's actually it's rooted within the conversation, Mike, because
Stop.
they underscore the fact that the founders of Adidas were part of that party, and they had been for years attempting to like change that narrative.
Finally, a cargo plane that departed New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport had to turn around short. Sometimes my final stories all remind me that they should be on the evening news. A cargo plane that departed New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport had to turn around shortly after takeoff when a horse got loose on board. A recording of air traffic control communications features the pilots of the Air Atlanta Icelandic plane. Oh, that's a big one. I fly that one exclusively.
Sure.
When I'm going to Vegas. Air Atlanta Icelandic.
Yeah,
they explained to the...
Not Air Iceland, Mike. It's different.
Air Atlanta Icelandic. They were explaining to the air traffic controllers that they had to return to the airport because a horse was loose on the aircraft. This is the pilot. I'm quoting here. Well, I can do it. I've got a thing to do that.
Yeah, do it.
I get jokes. I know how to do it. I'm playing with all my toys today. All right,
I love
Hold
it.
on. I'm sorry. It takes me
Every
a long
girl and boy wants a toy, Oscar.
Of course.
All right, there we go. No, I don't want reverb on it. Yeah, air traffic control. The horse managed to escape his stall. We don't have a problem flying-wise, but we need to return back to New York. We cannot get the horse secured.
I always wondered how I thought you always had to go ground transport.
I don't know. It's tough going across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
When you do that, because then the horse is like, I can't swim this far.
You just put them on an air-conditioned container.
A veterinarian was brought. Jesus, Michael, please learn how to use your toys. A veterinarian was brought in to check on the horse once the plane was back on the ground. The flight to Belgium departed again later in the day. The horse was given a pillow, headphones, and a good stiff drink, along with his favorite movie, Seabiscuit, to make the flight a little more pleasant. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I like flying with horses, Mike? They never take their shoes off.
Bada bing, bada bo. Yeah. I had a long transcontinental one time with Mr. Ed.
Did you?
Yeah, it was amazing. The horse told me that when we were going to land. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. 'Tis the season for hydration, so no matter where or how you're hydrating this season, Liquid IV is the hydration brand to fuel your well-being. Their hydration multiplier can keep you going through the end of the year and beyond. Through the end of the year and beyond. Liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. Remember, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, all in a single stick. So good, so easy, plus now it's available in sugar-free. I had one this morning. Delicious. What was it? White peach. I had the white peach.
So good.
Now, the logo, do you have the white peach one there? Do you have that there?
The bag?
The bag looks like an apple. I always think it's an apple and not a peach, but
it
it's
does,
peach.
but-
It's delicious.
This is how I know people love it. We were running low on the sugar-free, and I made the mistake of putting it on the side of the studio.
Oh, no,
and
it
now
was lifted?
It rotated into
Gone.
the kitchen.
Gone. Always.
Disc
more.
jockeys, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to be the exclusive consumer of Liquid IV in our house till Mrs. O'Mara discovered it. Now it's gone.
Go on, yeah.
I love them all. They're great. Green grape, lemon lime, and peach. You'll love it. Make it a Liquid IV holiday. Grab your Liquid IV hydration multiplier, sugar-free in bulk, nationwide at Costco. Or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TMOS at checkout. That's 20% if you go through us to do it. Getting better hydration today. Use promo code TMOS at liquidiv.com. Yeah, I do think I want to take my kid to Napoleon, and I think
You
it might
should.
be a little
First-
sexy time in it, but I don't know.
And then you clarify with a Napoleon Dynamite viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Mike, it's funny you should say that. At 9:10, a text rolls in.
Waterloo. Damn. What?
Waterloo?
At 9:10, I got a text from Robert, who is not streaming the show live. He says, "Good morning. Would you want to see the new Napoleon movie with me this weekend?"
It's going to be massive.
Yeah.
It's going to be because it's got a great buzz on it, and that collaboration goes back to Gladiator. When
Ridley
Joaquin
Scott?
Phoenix played Commodus in that. Ridley Scott's like 86 years old. Do you realize that?
What?
Man.
Yes. Martin Scorsese is 80, and Ridley Scott's 86. They're like at the top of their
They're
game.
killing
It's
it.
amazing.
He's probably the best filmmaker named Ridley, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
What other Ridleys are there?
Well, there's Ridley's Believe It or Not Museum.
Love them.
Up in Ocean City.
I love
Love
that
'em.
movie, The Talented Mr. Ridley. That's all I got. Wow.
Is it Ridley's Gum?
Ridley
Oh.
Spearmint.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
very good. See, that works too.
Yes.
So you can modify it a little
Ridley
bit.
Field.
Look at Rob right now. His brain is trembling. He's trying so hard to pull
Actually,
something.
Mike, right now I'm just enjoying the show.
Okay, very good.
Ridley
Ridley Brothers, Barnum
Yes,
and Bailey
thank you.
Circus.
Thank you. If I
I
can
don't
get
think
it
so
out.
on that one. No.
That was a push?
Yeah,
All
a little
right.
bit.
Eleanor Ridley.
Winner.
Thank you.
Right there.
Appreciate it. So, anywho, I will take it. I do want. I'm sorry I was so tardy on the morning show and not coming in here to talk about it. I have one question that I don't know the answer to, and you two probably do. We will get another season. They're going to do another season of it. Are they? I don't know. Do you know?
Yes. They would
they're
have
gonna
to.
do another
It
season?
says they are, but I
Yeah.
don't. You know, with this Hollywood strike, a lot of this stuff has been on hold or retooled.
What's
Well,
the name of
made
the
it
guy
made
that plays
forever.
Corey? Who's the actor that plays Corey? He is
Feldman.
No, not
absolutely-
Corey Feldman. He was in
Corey
he was
Feldman.
the guy.
You mean the
Put Corey
executive?
Feldman in the role of Corey in Morning
Now I'm
Show.
watching.
Yeah. And
As
I'll
long as
tell
he's
you,
got a
John
leather
Hamm-
jacket.
John Hamm as the villain, just fantastic.
Can you do a
Everybody.
John Hamm?
Yeah, probably, but so subtle. It's like George Clooney, so subtle with that. You know,
Billy Crudup, Mike.
I would.
I might
love-
have to
because
work on it. Let me work on it overnight, and I'll try to
I
bring
have
it
a
in tomorrow.
voiceover gig, and I was like, man, if Mike could do a John Hamm, he could totally do this.
It's Billy Crudup who plays Corey Ellison.
What do you mean you have a voiceover gig?
I don't have one. I have one to give.
You have one to give at Podville?
Yes.
I can do anything you want.
Yeah,
I'd
if
love
you
to
can
get a
If you
voiceover
can
gig.
produce a John Hamm, I could submit you for consideration.
Yeah. Today using promo code TMOS at liquidiv.com. Yeah, John Hamm. Yeah. I'll work on it. I'm going to go study
Yeah.
him now. And to get, is it a paid gig?
TBD.
No. Don't need to work on that. All right.
We'd like you to work on spec.
Spec. Yeah,
Always
spec.
good when you're working on spec.
So we are going to get another really
yeah, but I
just
think it will be
meaty.
delayed. But you know what? They weren't that eager to get season 3 on the air either. They dragged
Mac,
their
what was
feet
his
on
name?
that.
Pull that up. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to see the actor's name.
Billy
Keep on
Crudup.
talking. I'm Corey. Billy
Great
Crudup?
name. Billy Crudup. Very odd name. Absolutely.
The relationship with his mom is fascinating to
Oh,
me.
I love that.
You have Reese Witherspoon, Hollywood A-lister heavyweight. You have Jennifer Aniston,
Movie
Hollywood
star.
heavyweight. You've got John Hamm, Hollywood heavyweight. It's just one after the. But the guy right there just steals it.
Can't
Steals it
help but
in
root
its
for him.
totality. Phenomenal.
scene.
And the lady that plays Stella, she is also phenomenal. Please, if they don't bring both Crudup and the lady that plays Stella, the news division
Yes.
head, back, And
What
it doesn't
about-
to
And
me-
if you're out on the holidays, catch up. You're going to love the
Yeah,
series.
so good.
Just a quick question on Hyperion.
Yes.
I thought this is essentially a fake SpaceX or Blue
Exactly.
Yeah,
Origin.
I know the name you're going to bring up, though.
What? Whose name?
You're going to talk about Elon? That's kind of a slam at Elon, the way they do
Well,
that?
yeah,
The
I
whole
think
thing,
that
yeah.
I think that's clear because he bought Twitter and destroyed it.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you more about the resolution of, and we're not giving anything away. I think it's still too early for people to not have seen it yet.
Yeah.
Do you think it could have been a better ending?
As far as
The drama was great.
Let me tell you what I think about that. It's a great
Yes.
question. Let me tell
Yeah.
you why. Because There are so many different ways they could have gone. I'll tell you one thing, and if you don't want a spoiler alert, turn it down because this might be dangerously close to a spoiler alert. The scene in the boardroom with Alex, that was the one part where, you could have been. That could have had
that
a
seemed
little
very
more credibility.
lazy.
That seems
Very
super
lazy.
You thought so?
Yeah, because what I wanted is, again, if you've turned down the radio, good for you.
Here I am. I have these perspectives. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it
overnight.
could have been,
she couldn't have done that without her producer. The producer's gone.
It should have been, in my eyes, the good wife, Juliana Margulies.
Yeah.
The other CEO of the company, and then the battle axe that got booted.
Oh my God!
All of them in there, rolled in, and then
used to say that's what the way it wasn't originally written, but you have to bring Alex in there.
Yeah,
you know? And you have here we go. We're going to redo the scene. Yes. You bring Juliana Margulies, and you got the two anchors, but you bring that fabulous actress. I don't know what her name is. She's an A-lister too.
The board member that got booted. Yeah.
No, not the board member. That's Sybil, but the lady that Juliana Margulies talks to when she's spilling the beans.
The reporter.
Bradley.
The reporter. Yes.
Not the reporter.
Yes.
The lady, the CEO
the CEO of the other media company.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
You bring her in, got the bookends. That's the way it would look. And then all you do is have Alex tearfully looking at John Hamm because she's not. But instead, they gave Jennifer Aniston all of it. And I wonder if that's the way it was written originally because it was like, give the star. Sometimes
which is
you gotta
fine,
back
but
off.
you got to pull up. Be like, she nods to the AV guy. I was like, "Do you have him on the line?" Boop. They pull up on the two screens behind her.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hi," and then they're just quiet, and she lays it out.
Presented by, because ultimately, and we know this because we're in the broadcast business.
Yes.
The business people and the talent there is a huge gulf between that. The talent viewed in corporate circles, every CEO, every vice president, every general manager, they always consider us the carny hucksters. They do.
Yes.
It's a natural phenomenon. But overall, as far as the quality, you got to give the morning show.
The reason
Can I give you?
I'm sorry, Oscar. Go ahead.
No, please. I'm sorry. I was about to give you another recommendation, so you wrap it up.
Okay.
And then
The
I'll
reason I think that the weakish ending was acceptable is I'm not sure anything is ending. I think they have more stuff to explore in season 4, and they were more eager to
but that's
open
not
a
the
few
point.
doors.
What he's talking about, what we're talking about is the credibility of the way that dramatic moment was done, which could have had for a show that is meticulous in its detailed storyline. That could have been done a little bit better.
Well, I let it slide based on the entire presentation. I thought it was great.
If you're not watching Lessons in Chemistry,
it's so good.
It's so good.
You know what?
It is an emotional roller coaster.
Why can't I pull the trigger? It makes me feel
if
like
you
want
to weep openly into your wife's bosom.
Really? Brie Larson
episode
is the star of it, Oscar?
Yes.
She
there are
is
moments.
Amazing. Yes. And the character is just so fascinating and deep.
The other credibility issue, turn it down. Sorry, spoiler. We're talking about a show that we all like. The rant by the producer on live TV was a little much.
Forced.
Little much.
Yeah.
Very forced, and that guy was.
It's
like that guy must have had blackmail on the producers because he did not deserve all that time.
Well, no, I think he's a weak character to begin with,
and that doesn't get on the air in any broadcast institution.
No, also that guy didn't get into the building again.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're key cards.
Yeah,
and then when they don't work, you don't get up the elevator.
Even with those darts that we're throwing at it, we still give it thumbs up. That's it.
Very good stuff.
So check it out. That's the morning show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I wrote this down from like a couple of days ago. Robb is the grocery store psychic.
I am.
Since I was tasked with going out and getting the bird today.
Good luck.
Really looking forward. What do you mean good luck? What does that mean?
It's not fun.
They're expensive.
Yeah,
they're
Tom
few and far
Turkey.
between.
Robb is the psychic. We'll find out why when we come back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, the music's playing already. I apologize.
That's all right.
Let's talk about Chime, shall we? Improving your credit score might not be at the top of your to-do list, but low or no credit can jam up your financial dreams. That's where Chime steps in with its secured Credit Builder Visa credit card. Millions trust it to power up their credit scores, safely boost your score with everyday buys and prompt payments. There is no annual fee and no credit check to begin. Plus, no minimum balance or overdraft fees. Use it like a Visa card at all Visa accepted spots to bolster your credit with your own funds. Level up your credit game with Chime. Seize your financial future. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Start building up your credit right now. Open a Chime checking account with at least $200 qualifying direct deposit and get started. Get started at chime.com/TMOS. That's chime.com/TMOS. I'm going to go for a record right now. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. member FDIC. Chime checking account and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Late payment may cause a negative impact on your credit score. Results may vary.
That's a pro.
That's
Thank
a
you
good
very
stuff
much.
right there.
I cannot do that. God bless you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I heard on the news, that the costs of things like
Yeah,
turkey.
but they're just trying to scare us.
Yeah, I got
Everything
90
costs more,
you-
people.
You can get a butterball
Suck
for
it up.
99 cents a pound.
That's not bad.
Yeah, or
It's-
roll through the Popeyes drive-through. People sleep on this. I did this last year. We should do
remember.
it again this year. Pick up a turkey.
How about Chick-fil-A turkey? Why don't they bring in whole turkeys?
It has a pickle on it.
I hear those turkeys have to pay a fee.
$10,000
Going to Chick-fil-A.
to be considered.
So why are you the now? Rob yesterday said he's the grocery store Kreskin. Let me
Right.
explain who Kreskin is. Kreskin is a dead guy.
Yes.
He was back in the 1970s and 80s a mentalist who came on the old Don and Mike show, and he was.
He did Merv.
psychic.
He did the Tonight Show. He was big in
Merv.
50
How many years
ago.
was Merv on?
Mike, I have
You
an
say
autographed
these
picture
things
of Kreskin
when you
in
say
my
these things.
basement.
You say it as though he did Merv. That'll help people.
This guy?
This
Yes.
guy. That's Kreskin.
All right, I'm a mentalist, okay?
All right.
And I predicted this. Mike, are you familiar when you talk grocery? And you
You
know,
know why I don't respect this guy? And I'm
Why?
just going to give you. He's got a little hair on his publicity photo on his jacket.
oh no.
Oscar, I was aware that the. That's the way he used to sound.
Do you
And
remember
I was
also
in the studio with him, so I know. I was
How-
aware that the hair was there. The hair is my
like a gray hair.
antenna. Yeah.
Do you
Like
remember
he's some
how
sort of
hard
shaggy
he would
dog.
shake your hand?
He's dead, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's
Okay.
got to be. Mac, will you verify that, Kreskin?
Well, doesn't a mentalist stay with us forever?
Well, yes.
He's in the ether.
Mike, are you familiar when we talk grocery? And as you know, I was in the grocery game for some time. What shrink is?
Well, I could tell you what it is. I was I got out of the hot tub and it was a little cooler than it normally is here, and I looked down there and I said, "I'm a man. I'm not a boy. I'm not a little toddler boy."
By the way, still alive.
No,
Oh,
is he really?
See? How dare we?
I actually said the
He's
dead
88.
psychic.
88 and keeping it
88,
great. Look
yeah.
at him.
Look at
God
him.
bless
Strong.
him. All right.
Mike, shrink is merchandise losses due to customer errors and intentional shoplifting.
Okay.
And shrink is at an all-time high. And do you know why?
Why?
Self-checkout.
Oh.
And so I predicted this. I've always said I hated it. I said it wouldn't last. Walmart, Costco, and other companies are rethinking self-checkout and
Thank
perhaps
God.
going to get rid of it. So
Because at
that's
the Mart
good.
of Wall, the Walmart,
Yeah.
one of these days, I don't bother when I'm in there, but if I see a manager, I'm going to, because it's not that they don't have the employees there.
They're there. You have to have
they're
someone
there,
monitoring them.
They're
Yeah.
dicking around.
Uh-huh.
They are dicking because there's no quality control there.
Mike, shrink is up to 4%, an all-time high.
And they're saying the primary reason is is because of self-checkout.
Yeah, people take advantages of self-checkout, and this is some of the ones that I had found that I enjoyed. Common tactics
tomato. What's that?
include not scanning an item, which is true. That's easy to do. Swapping a cheaper item for a more expensive one, like scanning bananas and putting a steak in your bag. And also,
Yeah, but hold
just
on a second.
walking
Don't
out
they-
without paying.
First of all, most of the self-checkout areas I've seen have a monitor there.
They have
Right.
a guru.
Yeah.
They have a guru there. And if you're taking a banana and scanning it and putting the steak in the bag,
Right.
well, I guess that is a good
Yeah.
a good grift,
Yeah.
right?
And also, you can, if you are bright enough to look what the UPC codes are, you can like do something similar. For example, squash, yellow squash, much more expensive than bananas, and they look alike.
They
so
caught
you could
me
do
the
that.
other day. I was at the Walmart self-checkout. I scanned a deck of playing cards and tried to put an 85-inch television in my bag.
How'd it go?
How does
They caught me red-handed.
Do
So
they
where are
have
you going with that?
self-checkout where you buy watches?
I wish they did.
That would
I
be
wish
good.
they did. Because I would scan a G-Shock and walk out with a Patek Philippe. Thank you.
And
How does-
bananas.
how does the technology at Whole Foods, these concept stores, they have one in Clover Park and in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. You just walk around and pick. Remember the one that I went to that creeped me out? That
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just walk around. You feel like you're shoplifting, but they actually charge your card.
I believe that is scanned as you select your item and put it in your cart.
You
I
pull
know
it
that,
off the shelf, and it goes right into your cart. And as soon as you walk out of that store, they charge you.
I know that Wegmans had an app for a while, and by the way, I hate Wegmans. Wegmans had an app for a while where you could essentially ring yourself up on your phone, pay using a virtual payment system, bag your own groceries, and get out. And everyone was abusing it, and everyone was stealing, so they got rid of it.
Do you think
So-
this will eradicate self-checkout?
I think it'll pull back on it. And that's,
I've just figured it out.
absolutely-
What a sad state of affairs.
Well, it's a horrible thing. And also,
is.
don't you want to talk to somebody?
I hate people. I want to walk out and literally just go. Boop, 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 boop,
If it was
out.
convenient, I would so love to not ever have to deal with
I
another
mean, I don't
cashier.
hate people. I just don't
No,
need to
but
hear the
but
small
in that
talk.
respect, there is a guy. God bless him. And you know what? People work their whole lives, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, they all can't be, driving their little E-Class Mercedes around and retiring like they do down
My
in Southwest
Mercedes.
Florida. But there is a gentleman. He is north of 70 if he's a day, and he is. I've never seen anyone that is slower and purposefully slow. Like no one will rush me. He has never been told. He has never been called on it. He has never been disciplined for it, and it is glacial. If I could avoid that man, and somehow I always get into the lane. And by the way, I don't know if you have walls of Mart near you. I'm sure you
Sure.
do. It's the United States of America.
course.
What's the deal with 50? What's the point of constructing 27 bays for cashiers when you have 3 people working on a Saturday at
Probably
2
hard to
o'clock
find
in the
employees.
afternoon? Is that
Probably
what
hard
it
to
is?
find-
no,
probably hard at
but
this
it's
point.
you got it. You
What
got
do you mean, no?
No, you can
Have
get
you tried to hire
employees-
someone lately? It's impossible.
Pull someone off the floor and put them in checking. You know who does it right? Costco does it right. You can go to Costco on the busiest day of the year, and it can be hellish around the store, but they will check you out quickly because they keep the cashiers open. That's what they do. They run through
right.
lines so fast. And what
But they
the thing
don't have
is,
self-checkout there.
no, they have self-checkout
Correct?
at Costco, but
At
I don't use
Costco
it.
they do?
They
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
self-checkout.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you what they do at Costco,
forever.
Oscar, because you're not the regular visitor like
No,
Rob and I
I
are.
used to when we worked in Manassas, maybe, but
This
not
is it.
lately.
They have self-checkout, and you roll up, and there's a person that's standing there. They
That's
don't
like
just
clicking
sta-
it.
They don't just
the gun
stand
has
there.
the scan gun.
They take it out. They do it
Go.
for you.
Yeah.
They do it
That's
for you.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And
Would you be? I just thought about this. So tell me
right.
if I'm crazy. When I jump in an Uber, doesn't matter if it's economy or black, whatever. I get a choice if I want to talk to somebody or not. Do I want conversation? I either click conversation, don't care, air conditioning. I get to choose that before I get involved. Do you believe there's a place here now that we have this that you can say personality line, mute line?
No, because
No,
it's not relevant
no.
to that. It's not relevant. There's not
But
enough
if you
contact.
shop somewhere that you're regular at, be it a grocery store or anything, you'll choose a checker you like. I do that. Absolutely.
well,
so
you can
know
see
them.
the checker
Yeah,
and do
you
that.
choose their line. And
Yeah.
there are quiet ones
No,
and there are talkative
interesting.
ones. Yeah.
I hear there's a merger between the Publix grocery chain and Twin Peaks that I've been a big advocate of.
The
now, you might
restaurant,
not
of
get
course.
accurate checkouts, but boy, you'll enjoy the experience. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
you
will.
can also get Sirius satellite radio anytime you want.
Fantastic. The Conan channel. Thank you very much.
So I called it my self-checkout going away, and we're better people for it. How about
Okay.
that?
Very good. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got the flip side.
Flip
And, speaking of, purchasing and the holidays and all that wonderful things, I'm about to tell you about the greatest retail opportunity that you may have ever heard of. All right? This eclipses Chick-fil-A, Publix, the Mart of Wall, and all the other ones. Listen. it's time to visit the exclusive source for official TMOS merchandise. It's the Mike O'Mara Show online store. Woo! Get over to TMOSstore.com now. From legacy t-shirts and cozy hoodies to morning transforming coffee mugs. I'm waiting for mine, and they are fantastic. And yesterday from Podville, I got one of our fantastic legacy logo stickers.
Nice.
And all I have to do is figure out how to scrape the other stickers off my window on the
Use
car.
a razor.
You can put it on your laptop.
I don't want to
Water
put it on my
bottle.
laptop. I want to put it on my car. It's your one-stop shop to flaunt your TMOS passion, and if you're looking for holiday gifts, even better. For the TMOS fan in your life, there's no better place to shop than TMOSstore.com. Does it get any easier than that? Even if you're just giving a gift to yourself, we've got your back. We hand-select everything for top-tier quality and killer looks. Grab your TMOS gear and support the show you love. Every purchase keeps the laughs coming. Check out our new Don't Get Happy Society limited edition sticker.
Beautiful.
I'm waiting for that one. Oh, man. They're going to be a limited edition. They could be gone anytime. Keep
Any
it
day.
fresh with new items added regularly. Stay ahead of the curve and be the envy of your TMOS crew. TMOSstore.com, the source for all things TMOS. Official, authentic, and awesome. Thank you for your support. It's all happening at TMOSstore.com.
Hello.
The flip side.
I sort of escaped this with my kids by the skin of my teeth. Mike, you're sort of in the thick of it. iPad kids that are buried in their screen all the time.
Okay.
And this was going viral on TikTok yesterday. This is some advice for the parents of youngsters today. Don't let Gen Z raise iPad kids.
I need everybody else in my generation to promise that we are not going to raise iPad children. Please. I just saw a TikTok from some millennial, and she was like, here's a message to Gen Z. You might make fun of us, but watch out. We're raising the next generation, and they're going to eat you up. Your kids can't read, okay? You're raising Gen Alpha. They're bizarre and terribly behaved. Y'all bred iPad children. You have been shoving media and screens in these kids' faces since birth. They probably have no imagination because their brain hasn't actually been forced to come up with any original thought. Gen Z, please, when we are older, don't give your kids iPads at the dinner table. If I'm older and I have my kids and I bring them to a restaurant and I see fellow parents at the table next to me and their kids have iPads at a restaurant in public, I'm gonna scream. Because what the hell is that? Can you not make your child behave for more than 5 seconds that they can live without an iPad for dinner? Can you not give your child enough attention and actually converse with them and teach them things and have conversations? Why do you have to just give them an iPad to make them shut up? Why are they even there then? What are you doing? What is your parenting style? People are gonna come at me and be like, oh, you're 21, what do you know about being a parent? I don't know. I look at kids and they're terribly behaved. I saw a TikTok of a girl talking about how she was a summer camp for a bunch of Gen Alpha kids, and they were the most poorly behaved kids she's ever seen in their entire lives. We have to right a wrong, guys. We have to make our kids normal, please.
That
I agree.
Yeah,
fresh
well
faced,
said.
great looking young man,
We can
21
start beating
years
our
old.
kids as well again. That's okay.
Yeah, with
Oscar's
an
always
iPad.
advocated the return of corporal punishment.
Yes.
I don't know if he's going to get his wish, though. I'm not
We'll see.
Maybe that's why God hasn't given me one yet.
Oscar actually
He's
is
like,
looking
you can't
to
have one.
Aren't you trying to have a corporal punishment at the self-checkout? Where if you screw up,
Oh,
you get
I've
hit?
been there, though, where I,
Yeah.
ho,
Yeah.
ho, 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 ho.
Mike, there are a few things that I take greater joy in than a bad singer, and one of the things I do take great joy in is a bad singer who is very confident. And I don't know who this guy is, but it's obviously from the 80s. It's from a public access TV show, and he apparently really enjoys Olivia Newton-John. But if he really liked her, would he mangle Olivia Newton-John?
No.
Don't have to answer. I see it in your eyes. Maybe
You can blow it up
was
anytime you're
better
ready.
left
I'm enjoying it too much.
unsaid.
Okay.
But this is pure and simple, and you must realize that it's coming from my heart and not my head. I love you. I honestly I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Poor
he's
guy.
gone now. Thank you.
2 more tapes, Mike. I honestly love you.
Thank you. Right back at you, pal.
It's finally here this Friday. The Rockstar LP comes out for Dolly Parton. And I don't know
God,
if that
how
means
long
there's-
has this promotion been going on?
No, and I don't know if that means she's going to really kick promotion into overdrive or we're finally done with it. But she's going to see a Tennessee football game this weekend. The good news is her teeth sound tight on this.
Well, hello, it's Dolly, and I am so excited to join 101,000 of my friends in the best place for college football, Neyland Stadium. I'll see you there.
That's it?
It just makes me want to do that. I'm going to see.
Volunteers?
I mean, God, an hour and a
You
half.
could,
She's
you
going to be
could
Lou
clean up
Holtz.
the. And somebody just run it through a filter for God's sakes. Help
I
her
know.
out.
I'll see you, the Tennessee Volunteers. Gonna be there for you.
Or an advanced man should say, "We're not going to any schools with any S's."
That's right. Repeat after me.
Send her to the Duke.
Virginia.
Send her to the Duke game.
Duke.
Yes.
Duke.
I'll see you.
Hi, Devils.
Duke Duke College.
Hi, Blue Devils.
Yeah, we can't do a university. Has to be
No.
college.
Yes.
Anyway, I hope Dolly does well so we can stop hearing from her. Bless her heart. You know that, though? Anyway,
Yes.
let's close with this, Mike. What's the state you live in again?
I live in Florida.
Yeah, it always seems there's news coming from Florida, especially when it involves public nudity.
That's right. A couple was arrested in Florida last week after allegedly caught fully nude having sex on a causeway. And because it was Florida, people walking by were yelling, "Geez, you two, get a ditch."
It just seems fair, doesn't it?
Oh, man.
That's all I got.
I was getting my kid a mouth guard yesterday. I'm going to save that story for tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I'm going to save the story of what I saw in the parking lot of
dicks.
Welcome to Florida, everybody. I'm not kidding. I can't believe I forgot to talk about that. But that's what's great about this show. We get to come back and do it all over again
And
tomorrow.
on quite another page, Mike, tomorrow we're joined by the Lincoln Project's Reed Galen.
Yes, talk about this crazy world we live in. We'll be back
Yes.
tomorrow with a brand new episode for Robb Spiewak and Oscar Santana. Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
There's a force in the universe that makes things happen. All you have to do is get in touch with it. Stop thinking. Let things happen. And be the ball.
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.